Bro, when I blew that account, it was so fast. I was like, bro, I just bought this account. Pull up back with another video. And in this video, we're gonna talk about how I blew my first funded account. And we're not talking about eval accounts to get funded. I'm talking about after I've passed the eval and then was funded when I blew that account. So when this all took place, this was back in my Forex days. I think it was about 2023, maybe 2024. I don't really remember, or actually no, it was late 2023. I had passed a funded account with, I believe it was, I don't even remember. I passed a couple with Forex. I think it was Secure the Bag. It was one that Trader Swaggy C that he kind of had, but then he left. But I stayed with him simply because, I just did. That's besides the point. I get the account, and keep in mind, the evals, I had failed at least 10 to 15 of those before I got funded. A lot of people ask, like, how many evals did you fail? Bro, especially me, I had a job at the time, so paying $150 for this account, like, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't gonna make or break my life. When I trade options, I would do that and just lose it instantly. So I looked at this as a longer plan. I thought it just made more sense, which it did for me. So after about 10 to 15 evals failed, I finally get funded on the account. And at this point, I'm starting to calculate everything. I said, all right, cool. This is how much I'm gonna make a day. This is how much I need to make a week. I'm gonna live like this. I started looking up the cars I want to buy. I started looking up the new apartments I want to stay in. I started looking up all of these things because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, now is my chance. Now I have the access to, I think it was 50K at the time, which really was, I think, a $900 stop loss limit. So, or not stop loss limit, but $900 until I failed the account, whatever it was. But I'm looking at this like, bro, this is my chance. Now is my time. Let's do it. So after I have wrote all this stuff down, after I've calculated exactly how I'm gonna spend the money, how much I'm gonna risk to make this, I had the perfect plan. Nothing could go wrong. At this point, I'm like, bro, Isaac, you are about to be rich. Like, this is the day you're gonna be rich. I had envisioned the speech I was gonna make. I was looking at all of those things like, Isaac, this is the day. So first trade, get in there, boom, instant loss. That's cool. It is what it is. Losses are a part of the game. Like, that's the way I got funded in the first place. I realized I'm gonna lose. That's fine. Boom. Second trade, literally 5 minutes later, lost that as well. So when I lost those two trades, by this time, I'm like on that fine line of, okay, Isaac, you about to lose this account. So what did I do? I did the smart thing. I said, Isaac, take a minute, breathe, come back tomorrow because you're about to blow this account in your first day. So that's what I did. I took a moment, sat back, was like, Isaac, chill. So boom, I pull up the next day on the charts, excited. And keep in mind, now the way I trade, every day is not a trading day. There's some days that you trade, there's some days that you don't. If your setup is not very clear, just leave it alone, right? You're gonna make more money on taking 2 wins a week rather than taking 3 wins and 2 losses. Back then, I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. It's 2023. I'm 3 years in. So my very next trade, I win it. On the third trade, I win. I'm feeling good. I'm still in a little bit of drawdown, but now I'm like, okay, you got this. You getting your mojo back. You got it. Took another trade that same day and completely blew the account. When I blew the account, I felt like the world had just been stripped from me. I've worked all these months, all this time, went through 15 different evals to get this funded account. I now calculated everything I need to do, how my life will turn around, and I blew it. That was probably the worst feeling ever as a trader who started to turn that leaf just a little. Now, I was confused. I was like, bro, why did I blow this account? Even with the eval, like, I wasn't winning every single day and got the funded account. I was losing, winning over like a 2-week period of time. But I was able to realize that after 2 weeks of consistently doing something, I was able to pass the account. Now I'm looking at this funded like, why did I just fail this within 2 days? Why did I fail this account in 2 days and it took me 2 weeks to pass this account? Why did I understand the agenda, the objective of how to handle an account that wasn't real? But once it was real, I couldn't handle it. And that's really the truth behind these funded accounts, right? They're amazing. They're great. I highly recommend you get funded rather than putting it in your own account. Now, I do think your own account has its own advantages, of course. And I do think your own account is good for you seeing smaller profits. That way, when you get to the funded stage, you're not thinking like, oh, I only made $500. You're like, okay, I made $500 because on your regular account, that would have been $50. So they do have their places. But the reason a lot of people get to that funded stage and never pass or get a payout at that point is because now the excitement has happened. You have to play this so level-headed, so cool, and just do every day, just do the same thing. You're not doing anything spectacular. You're not hitting any home runs. You're not doing anything different. Every day you're doing the same thing. And some days you're going to be green. Some days you might be red. Some days you might be break even. But the key is to not look at what happened that day. Yeah, go back and review your trades, cool. But my big recommendation I have for so many people, do not look at your overall P&L until Friday when market closes. That's how you can evaluate your week, how you've done. I'd rather be surprised and blow the account because I hit my drawdown limit than to be monitoring and mentally playing that drawdown number. See, when you're looking and aiming at numbers, you're chasing the number, you're chasing the money. When you're not doing that, when you're just playing the game, you come back. Just think about the NBA Finals, right? The Indiana Pacers. The Pacers in game one, when Hallie hit that shot, in game one, if the Pacers were to say, man, we're down by 20 points, like, game's over, everybody stop trying, they wouldn't have won that game. But the way they play is just basket after basket. They played the same game regardless of the score. And that was how they were able to come back and win. That's how they're able to get into game 7 of NBA Finals for a team that nobody expects to be at this position. When you trade, you cannot look at what's happening right now. When you get a funded account, you treat it no different than the evaluation phase of it. And this wasn't the only time that happened. I believe I had about 3 or 4 funded accounts before I finally ever got a payout. And it was because, like, every time I got funded, my mind would just switch. I would get so excited. I would get happy. I would start thinking about the future, what it's going to be like, what things I'm going to buy. And every time I start to look at the numbers, that's when I start to do bad. And I know there's some of you guys watching this right now who have been funded but have never received a payout, or have been funded but only received 1 payout ever. And I wanted to make this video to let you guys know that that is actually normal. Like, it's okay in the sense of don't feel like you're alone and nobody else has ever done this and you just can't get it. This happens all the time. But it's not okay in the sense of you might not be a profitable trader yet. Now, you can have profitable moments, you can have profitable months, you can have profitable weeks, but a consistently profitable trader adopts a new mindset. And once that mindset's adopted, that's just a part of you. You know, you don't learn anything else. I would say the biggest takeaway is to learn to adopt the mindset of being profitable, right? Don't look at an account differently than any other account. Don't look at the eval stage differently than a funded stage. You know, everything is the same. The only thing that you can do that I believe is okay with eval, if you're trying to pass it faster, I do believe you can up your risk, because at the end of the day, it's just a $150, $50, whatever you might have paid for that evaluation. And I know, you know, money's different for everybody, but just in the grand scheme of things, $150 is not a lot of money. Like, it might be, and there's probably somebody watching that's like, oh, it might be easy for you to say, I don't have 150. You don't know where I come from. I understand that $150 don't just grow on trees, but when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, when you're trying to be a trader, traders look at $150 and like, whatever, that's not even a stop loss. That's half a stop loss. Not even half a stop loss. That's literally pennies in a trading world. And so you're going to be in this world, you have to look at money as pennies. The 150 that you don't want to spend because things are tight, bro, go do something to make that up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop coming up with reasons saying, yeah, I live this life, I live this way, and that's why things have been this way, and it's been a little bit harder for me. Yeah, cool. We all have a story, all right? We all have a story. I promise we do. Be okay with possibly losing that money, understanding that this is to set up your future. You can't be a good investor without investing, understanding that you might lose that money. But understand, this is all mindset. Most people are failing right now simply because of mindset. There's so many good technical traders, so many. And it's the mindset. It's literally just mindset. But yeah, that's how I blew my first funded account. Since then, I've been funded multiple times, multiple payouts. And when I look back at it, it was worth it, right? No, the heartaches, the long nights. I'm talking about long nights. I remember being in college, right? And I had class at 7 a.m. and I didn't go to sleep, or I didn't get off the charts till like 5:30 a.m., 5:30 in the morning, while I have class at 7. Then it got to the point where I started skipping class because I did need to go to bed. And I would wake up, because I missed class, I would just start looking at charts and looking at this, that, and the other. So you have to really want it, and I really did want it, and that's why I've been able to successfully withdraw multiple payouts from the market. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, comment, sub up too. There's a lot of you guys who are watching who aren't subbed up, and I don't know why. And also, if you're not a part of the free trading Discord, I'll go ahead and put that link in the description. That way you're able to join. Reason being is, you need to be in a community full of traders. You know, I don't know anything about makeup, but if I worked at a makeup store for at least 2 years and I was surrounded by makeup experts, I promise you I would know a lot more about makeup than the average person. Same concept with trading. Even when you're learning or you're just trying to get introduced into it, be in that room. That's the reason why people pay multiple dollars to be in rooms full of millionaires, because they know they can gain something from just being around them. That's why they say, hey, dinner with Jay-Z or $1 million. Like, the fact that somebody would skip on $1 million to be in a room with somebody to eat dinner lets you know that being in those rooms really do help. But yeah, that's everything I got, man. Y'all stay cool, y'all stay calm, y'all stay safe. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.